Hello everyone. I, SIMIRAN CHOUDHARY, welcome you all on behalf of Voice of Healthcare Incubator to a unique series, Voice of Healthcare Incubator Visionaries Unplugged. In this series, we interact with distinguished speakers, mentors, advisors, and the experts of entrepreneurship. We interact with them with the aim to extract all those information, the practical advices, and the actionable steps which can help the budding entrepreneurs out there to actually apply in their business and can become one of the successful leaders and entrepreneurs of our industry. So today we have for the episode Dr. Pinak Shrikhande, Managing Director of Healthquad. Thank you, Dr. Pinak, for coming to our show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, sir. So today with Dr. Pinak, we're going to discuss about the healthcare investment landscape, opportunities for startups. So without any delay, we would just like to start with my first question. So Dr. Pinak, my first question would be to you, what exactly is the philosophy of Healthquad as investing partner?
So Healthquad is a healthcare focused fund, and it was launched in 2016 with aim to invest in disruptive companies in healthcare in India. And we believe that there is technology which will play a very, very critical role in solving for the fundamental challenges of Indian healthcare, which is accessibility, affordability, and quality of care in India. And in that context, I think what we were looking to do is look at companies, especially technology enabled or technology backed companies in the healthcare sector, and scale these companies through investments from Healthquad. And we believe that these companies not only have a future as far as India is concerned, but the same technology has potential to be even used in low and middle income countries, as well as even in developed countries where cost of healthcare is rising. So that was the philosophy, and we continue to believe that technology will be a very, very big enabler going forward for India to get over its challenges of healthcare.
That's great, sir. And we every day can see the news updates which are coming, that how innovation and technologies are helping and supporting the healthcare industry to be one of the leading industries, or making India or in a better way in terms of healthcare.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with that. Some of the technologies that have been developed in India, including those in AI, data analytics, they are now finding global applications. So we believe that there is a huge potential for Indian entrepreneurs to cater to the global healthcare scenario.
That's great, sir. That's what we all vision. So if I have to ask about what are the key factors that investors look or evaluate while considering a startup, or when an idea comes to the investor.
Yeah.
So what are the checklists when investor go through in mind when it comes?
So I think one of the most important things that we look at is what is the nature of the problem that the company is trying to solve. Is it a real problem? Many times, there are problems that are perceived and not necessarily real. And entrepreneurs make that mistake of having ideas which may not be translatable into commercial success on ground. So one should be very aware of having ideas that actually have commercial and real ground level success potentials. The second is the market needs to be large enough. It cannot be a very restricted market. For investors, it's important that the company demonstrates or plays in a market which has the ability to really scale up quite rapidly and grow big within a certain time frame. So those are two things. And then third, of course, is that from a Healthquad's perspective, I think the demonstration that the idea generates revenues is very important. So for us, we have a revenue threshold that is of about $1.5 million that we look at on an annualized basis to say that, okay, this idea has the potential to generate revenues. Now we want to work with the company to take it to the next level and scale it up. So that's where we come in as investors. Our philosophy is very clear that we are not passive investors. We work very actively with our portfolio companies because of our healthcare expertise, our wide healthcare ecosystem, which we provide to all our companies to interact with. We believe that we contribute not only in financial terms but also in more strategic way to the growth of the company.
Yes, and you said it right, because the first aim of any business which starts, or investors when they put their money in that, the idea should be revenue generating, like
Absolutely,
you said.
absolutely.
Without that, any idea or any investment would be a waste of money. That's it.
Absolutely. And the proof of the pudding is that somebody needs to put dollar on the table for that idea or that product. That is something which is super critical.
Yes, and all the checklist which you mentioned right now is for the listeners out there who are there to, the inspiring entrepreneurs. Please go through all these checklists and then make sure that you go to the investors and they are all ready to, give your money in your business. So, moving ahead, I would like to ask, what do you think are some common mistakes or pitfalls that healthcare startups should avoid when seeking for an investment?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is the team. We not only back the idea, but we also back the founders.
Yeah.
And it's very important that you have an all-rounded team. Many times, people, the company could be just a single founder company. And, that's where we think that, you need to have a well thought out team, which includes a technical expert, a healthcare expert, a person with a commercialization strategy expert, all of those coming together to be able to, have a holistic pathway for the company, rather than just a very bare minimum idea that is there. So that is one pitfall. Second, again, as I mentioned to you, perceived need versus actual need is something which is very, very critical for people to understand. Many times I have noticed people coming up with super ideas, but when you go into the market, those ideas may not find traction from the set of consumers that you are selling it to. So you should do your thorough market research and talk to as many people as possible, get as much of feedback as possible before building out something, which is super critical. Third pitfall is having some unrealistic expectations as far as valuations are concerned.
Yeah.
Because many young entrepreneurs today suddenly come up with numbers without understanding how people actually value companies. And these wrong expectations set them on a wrong trajectory completely. And it is then they who will be playing catch up, not the investors.
And I think all these pointers which you mentioned is actually one. I mean, you are in the field, you deal with these kinds of ideas and people who come for the investment daily basis. So I think these are the daily cases or pointers which you see in your...
Absolutely. So just to give you the context, over the last 8 years, we would have evaluated more than 2,000 startups, and we have invested only 17.
Oh.
So there is a huge filtration mechanism, and this filtration happens because at various levels. I mean, at the idea level, at the team level, at the overall market size level, and it is only once it is distilled through multiple levels of review that we come to an investment decision. And these investment decisions are very, very thoroughly thought through, discussed and debated amongst the team and of course the investment committee. And only after going through multiple such filtrations do we arrive at making any investments.
So we totally accept and know the screening process of what Healthquad makes through it, because that is shown from the success of what Healthquad is going with. Right, every day the great partnership, the success stories which come out from the Healthquad's partnerships and supported business is evidence in the market we have.
Thank you so much.
So, and if we are moving ahead, if I'd like to ask about the government initiatives, like nowadays, or let's say after COVID, post-pandemic time, the government has they saw that there are so many startups which came during that time, and then they realized the potential of Indian market, that the startups are actually working and very beneficial for the Indian economy as well.
Yeah.
Because the technology, innovation, the talent is all there.
Absolutely.
So, and the government is also putting their efforts to, push the healthcare startup owners, and to,
Absolutely.
to make them actually come in the market and be successful, so that it will impact the economy and India in a very
Absolutely.
large sector. So, how would you see that, or you want to tell us like how government initiatives are putting it?
Yeah. So I think you are absolutely right, Simran. There is a lot of focus of the government now on crossing a very critical frontier, which is healthcare access and affordability. And one of the first things that the government did was the whole Ayushman Bharat healthcare scheme, which came in, which promised 5 lakh rupees worth of treatment to a member of 5 families per year, where the insurance premium was basically paid by the government. And with that, what it did was that healthcare market opened up significantly. Then, of course, there was the government was very, very keenly focused on the digitization of the entire health records and the all transactions or health the insurance claims being settled digitally. So I think in that context, the ABDM program, or the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, which aims to create the unified health stack, the government is putting a lot of emphasis on creation of the health stack. Then there is a huge opportunity for startups to partner with the government or be a part of this program to be able to play their role in creating this unified health stack, and then have applications on top of this health stack. There could be multiple opportunities, not only for patient engagement, providers for how they engage with their customers, or they have their supply chains sorted out, or for insurance to better factor in the medical health risks, as well as claim settlements being completely seamless through this whole digital stack. All of that can be achieved, and health tech startups should see how they can partner with this whole digital health mission to be able to scale their businesses. I think that's a huge opportunity there. Plus, of course, the Make in India initiative that the government has launched, where there are significant PLI schemes which are available for pharma and medtech companies that are helping this whole transition from import dependency to Make in India. And that is something which again a lot of our Indian companies are taking advantage of.
Correct. And I can understand, or it should be better well versed or researched by the inspiring entrepreneurs out there who are looking forward to enter into this healthcare technology or healthcare sector, that there are lots and lots of schemes that government is providing in support to all such new startups, that one day they become one of the leading company or the new innovation in healthcare sector.
Absolutely. And just to again complete, BIRAC has grants available now for healthcare startups. If their ideas are promising enough and their work is a differentiated kind of work that they are doing, BIRAC comes up on twice a year with a grant scheme for these startups. So again, that's something which young entrepreneurs should keep in mind if they have interesting ideas, and especially differentiated technology or biotech ideas. These are areas that you need to explore completely.
Yes, and this is coming from straight from the experts. So you guys have to believe it, and this actually works.
Absolutely.
So moving on to our next sector, or the most important topic of investment, or let's say a business, that is the partnership. So how do you believe, like how important is for the healthcare startups to establish partnership or collaboration with larger healthcare organization or institution, and how does that impact their ability to attract investment? Like you also said in the previous question, like how the partnership or the team matters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think many of our portfolio companies as well as startups that we have interacted with, one of the suggestions that we always give them, or advices that we give them, is see how we can partner with incumbents, especially like healthcare delivery chains, or with medtech players, to be able to integrate their solutions into in the hospitals, or in medtech companies, or in the products of medtech players. I think it is very, very critical that companies start thinking about it right from the outset, of how their products can actually be used by the big incumbents. Many times companies, the young entrepreneurs, have this fear in their mind that they could be there could be a strategic angle to that, and the incumbents could look at either destroying their idea, or co-opting that idea, or completely buying them out, or something like that. But I think it is something which is not necessarily true. A lot of our portfolio companies have not only partnered in commercial terms with the strategic players, but have also received strategic investments from large listed players also, and large pharma, healthcare delivery, medtech players. All of them have actually invested in these companies because they see a long-term potential of partnership with these young companies.
Yes, and partnership will, or this kind of partnership with institutions and other team members, will help them to go far.
Absolutely, it just helps them navigate. As young entrepreneurs, your ability to reach out to a much larger ecosystem increases with these partnerships. We have seen that. I'll give you an example. So Cure.ai is one of our investee companies.
Yes.
It is in the field of AI in radiology. So they have partnered now with AstraZeneca. And this is a global partnership.
Yes.
So AstraZeneca partnership helps them screen chest x-rays that have been done in the past for early signs of lung cancer, early detection of lung cancer. And the intent is to scale this up to screening more than 5 million x-rays. So this is the kind of partnership that we're talking about, where companies really work with the larger incumbents to be able to scale their businesses.
Correct, truly said, sir. And like you said, you have a very live example of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And lastly, I would just like to have, like, we have moved to a last leg of the series, the session. Can you discuss any specific success stories or case studies of healthcare startups that have effectively navigated the investment landscape? You just mentioned one partnership success story.
Absolutely.
We would like to understand and listen more to it.
So again, as I mentioned exactly about Cure.ai, it is now amongst the top 3 or 4 globally recognized AI and radiology companies. Not only their solutions are now deployed across 80 countries, and not only in LMIC countries, their products are now their product is now used even by the NHS in the UK. So those are the kind of things that I was talking to about. Frugal innovation in India has global applications. Another example is a company called GoAptiv. GoAptiv was started with the intention of taking quality pharma products to the last mile in India. And what we are talking about, the last mile, is the extra urban and rural markets of India. And they are now present in more than 300,000 villages of India. Their products reach 300,000 villages, and that has been enabled by technology. In the past, many times the rural market was unable to have quality pharma products, and there was enough and more substitution as well as counterfeits that seeped into the pharma supply chain, and people's health was at risk because of this. And here is a company which is trying to just address this very big challenge of counterfeits by having a complete digital tracking of how pharma products can be there and provided to the last mile. Similarly, we have THB, which is a data analytics company. We all talked about data being the new oil, but oil, if you ask anybody in the oil industry, oil per se has got no value. It is once only it gets refined and converted into products that it has any kind of value. So you have to create petroleum products, you have to create other chemicals from that oil for it to be utilized. Similarly, data which is there in silos in healthcare company or healthcare delivery or hospitals, and you would appreciate it that hospital data is in segregated. It does not talk to each other. The lab has a different set of data. The radiology department has a different set of data, and there is a general data in the supply chain, and none of these data talk to each other. And what THB is trying to do is to try and unify this data into unified data lakes, and then draw insights, business insights, customer insights, and help businesses grow using their own data. So this is a unique business opportunity which the company is pursuing, and their products are now being used even in the Middle East countries. They have gone to Dubai and Saudi and the MENA region where their products are currently being used. So I think technology, as I mentioned to you, can be really leveraged and scaled up if the idea and the product is right, as well as the team has the ability to execute.
You said it right, sir. Oil is just a oil if there is no idea behind it.
Absolutely.
Oil is normal oil if you put an idea to refine it, to use it as a petroleum or diesel or the products out of it.
Absolutely.
And that's how the data works, and that's how the idea works. I believe investment or partnership and all the factors we discussed in this interview also works as one of the petrols or oils which puts the energy to it and to navigate into the industry, to go into the more of the success of healthcare industry, like we're talking more about.
Absolutely. I'll just finish off this with another example which we recently invested in, a company called Cure Skin. Just to give you some data points, 90% of India's dermatologists are in metro and tier 1 towns, and only 10% of them dermatologists are beyond tier 2 and 3 and 4. Now, how do you cater to such a vast population? And what Cure Skin has been able to do is build an AI engine based on more than 45 million images that they have analyzed to diagnose skin conditions and then suggest appropriate therapies and provide proprietary products to these consumers, especially in tier 3, tier 4 towns of India. 70% of their customers are in tier 3 and beyond. So again, the whole idea is to create through our portfolio companies access, make them affordable, and improve the quality of their health.
That's great. So, and we all are working the same direction to make healthcare accessible, affordable, and better available to all the masses, or to tier 1, not only just to tier 1 but to tier 2, tier 3, and to any of the person who are the last of the masses. And that's how we all are working, the technology, the investors and the companies out there.
Absolutely.
Working in the same direction to help people and to make India grow.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for coming to our show and giving us this insightful session. It is very, very insightful for us and for the listeners out there too.
No, thank you, Simran, and thank you, Voice of Health. It was a real pleasure interacting with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.